In 2024, my concrete company did $2.6 million in sales, and although it sounds good, I actually left so much money on the table that it is absolutely killing me, and I realized that my biggest problem is our close percentage. Our close percentage was 10% last year, and I realized that if I could take it from 10% to 20% without changing any of the variables, then I would go from 2.6 million to 5.2 million. So I would say that's a very expensive problem to solve with a lot of value. So what I've done, I've compiled tons of notes, tons of information on everything you could do to increase your close percentage in a business like in concrete. And then after that, I'm gonna walk through at the very end and talk about how I'm gonna take these principles and actually apply them to my business. You can get some real life examples of how to actually apply it. So first, let's go through all the principles. The first of that being speed. And people are emotional buyers. We buy with emotion and we justify it with logic. And what I realized is that emotion is the highest right in the very beginning of someone thinking about doing a project. For instance, if I'm a homeowner and I have a bad day at work, and let's just say that I'm emotionally charged, I drive home, I see my driveway, and that day I realize, I'm like, oh my God, I am so sick of looking at this driveway, and I just want it to be fixed now. Do you think that you would have more of an opportunity of closing that person if they called you that night and you went out that night and gave them a number, or even if you waited till the next day? Well, if you answered, if you give that person a quote right in the moment, then you're gonna have a much higher likelihood. Then absolutely, the faster that you can get to someone, and not only on your first attempt, but also say, for instance, if you call someone, you talk to them, they have a follow-up question, it's always about speed. How fast can you interact with that customer? How fast can you get them pricing? How fast can you respond to their questions? And that will impact your sales closing percentage very significantly. Number 2 is better availability. So it's not only how fast can we reach out to a customer, but how available are we? For instance, car salesmen, they have figured out selling cars down to a T. And what is the number one rule in car sales? If you're a car salesperson, do you think you're more likely to have Saturday off or Monday off? Again, you're more likely to have Monday off because Saturday is your money-making day. The only reason why Saturday is your money-making day is people like buying, they like shopping on Saturdays. They like shopping at nights. So if you can't be open on nights and weekends, well, whether you like it or not, you're going to be losing sales and your sales closing percentage because people like buying when they like to buy. And we don't get to determine that as contractors. That is unfortunately up to our customers. Number 3 is better leads. And so a lot of people think a lead is a lead, but in reality, we all know that we'd rather have a word of mouth lead versus an Angie lead or some stupid Facebook Messenger lead, right? And the reason is based on what that person sees, hears, and knows about you before they call you. For instance, word of mouth, your customers are selling your service for you. So immediately the trust is higher. Their likelihood of buying is higher. They maybe already know a little bit about your pricing. So that lead is going to be a much higher close than someone who gets on Angie and sees that it costs $5 to replace a driveway and then calls you. And then when you tell them it's $5,000, well, now they hate you and they think you're crazy. So if we want to sell more of our opportunities, we also have to look at what opportunities are we bringing to us? What do they learn about us before they ever talk to us? Number 4 is a better script. And when I first started in concrete, I didn't even realize that there was such thing as a sales script. I thought that selling concrete was literally someone would call me, I'd drive out to their house, I would look at their job, and I would give them a price. Well, in your opinion, is that script going to outperform if someone calls you and you have a choreographed experience on exactly how the customer is going to feel, all the questions that are going to bring out the great emotion and bring out also all the bad emotion so that way they don't choose a bad contractor? Of course, if you have a choreographed script and on top of that, you don't just have a script, it doesn't just sit on your wall, right? You actually use it, then that can help increase your closing percentage. 5, which is a new one to me, is options. So there's a reason why when you go to a car dealership, they show you, hi, would you want this type of sedan or this type of sedan? And there's different options, there's different price points, there's different specs. And what I realize is in concrete, we all have a tendency to shove all of our customers down one rabbit hole. Oh, you want a driveway? It's X price. But in reality, people like having options. They like choosing a small, medium, and large. They also like choosing between different qualities. But at the same time, we don't want too many options to cause confusion. And so when I was doing my research, I realized that if you could give people even 2 or 3 options, like a good and a best, well, simply just having 2 options will bring in different types of customers and allow you to capture a wider percentage of the marketplace. Number 6 is to turn your product into an offer. And here's what I mean by that. Let's just say if you're gonna present a driveway to a customer and you're gonna do what everyone does and you say, hi customer, do your driveway is $10,000. And that's all you say. That's a product. Now this is how we turn it into an offer. I say, hi customer, your driveway is gonna be $10,000, but on top of that, as a bonus, if you do your driveway with us, I'll also give you a concrete care guide, which tells you exactly how to take care of a driveway so it looks good for much longer. Well, what sounds more valuable? Just the driveway or driveway plus care guide? Driveway plus care guide. And so the thing is, even if you do that no matter what, if you don't tell the customer, then they never perceive the value. And that is the point of an offer. Number 7 is a better brand. And so all brand really means is that if someone sees your brand, do they act differently than when they see someone else? So for instance, if you go to a store, and let's just say that you have positive associations with the brand Nike. Well, they've actually proven this scientifically that if you go and there's a 100% cotton Nike shirt and 100% cotton, no branded shirt, that you're willing to pay more for the Nike, even though all it has is the little check mark on it. That's it. So the closer that we could all get to that level and have a brand that influences people's behavior, well, now all of a sudden, especially under the same price, people will buy more often. Number 8 is more follow-up. So a lot of people think that when they give a customer a price, then that is technically their job is done. They say, well, I've given the customer a price. They have it. If they really want the work done, then they'll call me. That is the lazy way of doing business. And unfortunately, people need follow-up. They need their questions answered, their objections answered, etc. And I realized for me last year that we were really lazy with this, which I'm about to get into, and that caused a huge lack of sales, simply not just calling people after we sent a quote. Harvard Business School actually did a study. They said the average consumer takes 7 times to be followed up with before they buy. So if you're not doing that, then you're probably missing out on a ton of sales. Number 9 is more training. I paid $5,000 to go to an Alex Hormozi event this year, and my biggest takeaway by far was that out of all skill sets in business, there's sales, there's marketing, there's accounting, there's finance, there's HR, there's all these different skills you have in business. What is the one that requires the most training and consistent training by far? Sales. Why? Salespeople are getting beat up all the time. You're getting told no, you're getting rejected. You're having all these things. You have all these reasons to change what you're doing because being in sales is hard. So keep in mind, right? Next year, I'm trying to go from 10% sales rate to 20%. That still means that 4 out of 5 of my customers, even if my salesperson is doing a great job, is still going to tell my salesperson no. It is a really difficult thing to do, and especially difficult if you're not taking time to have training, review game tape, make sure you're adhering to the script, because it's not just about saying the script, it's about how you say the script. And if you're not training that, the likelihood that you're doing good is probably really low. The last one is tracking metrics. And so it's crazy, but you know the number one way to actually get someone to lose weight? It's actually to make them step on a scale every single day. I know that sounds crazy, but if you don't track something, that's showing that you don't care about it. And you pay attention to what you track. So if you're simply just tracking metrics like sales rate, like close rate, like average job, like number of minutes before you follow up, etc., all these metrics, well, if you simply just track it, by nature, you will do better at it. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk through all the things that I'm gonna change in my business so you can see how I'm going to actually take these principles that I've laid out and how I'm going to apply them, so that way you can see some examples of how you could do it too. By the way, if you want a free 25-page document that actually goes along with this and much more in depth so you can study this in your own time, click the link down below. It's totally free. You don't even give me your email or anything. You just click it, hit copy, and it's yours. All right, so the very first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hire more salespeople. And one of the things that I realized last year is I looked back and I was like, okay, I know follow-up's important. I know speed to lead is important. I know availability is important. But you know what I was so concerned with last year that really hurt me is I would look at my salesperson's calendar and I would see if it wasn't full, it would freak me out. So I didn't want to hire more salespeople because I always wanted my salesperson to be nice and busy. But what I realized is, as a salesperson, do we perform better as a salesperson if we're hungry or if we're always full, right? Like for instance, if I wanted a predator to go out and hunt, the way that I would actually get them to go hunt is I would starve them and I would make them hungry. Salespeople are the same way. So if you give someone too many opportunities, then they don't do some of the things like I mentioned before, like speed, follow-up, availability. Well, guess what type of salesperson does is one that's a little more hungry because they have to, because they're being so overloaded with leads that they don't have time to do all the other stuff. So next year, I'm increasing my follow-up, my speed, and availability just by having more salespeople. Next thing that I'm doing is I'm actually gonna have 2 different tiered concrete packages, which I have never done in the past. In the past, the only people that bought from me were people who wanted really high quality and really high service. But what I realized is we were getting a lot of complaints from our customers because guess what the negative consequence of high quality and high service is? Really high cost. I know, right? Go figure. So, but what I realized is some of my customers actually wanted a reduction in cost and they're okay with less service while still keeping the quality high. So now as I'm presenting 2 different products, I'm going to give my customers options. I'd say, hey, option A is, maybe I'll call it, for instance, like the industry standard. In the industry standard, we already offer double the warranty, AKA going back to my offer, right? Still making it look sexy. We still offer double the warranty as our competitors. The only difference is you're gonna have slightly flexible scheduling. You're not gonna have a dedicated project manager. You're just gonna have our team lead who is more than capable of getting it done. And instead of getting a guaranteed date that we're gonna come complete your project, it's gonna be on a first come, first served basis. So the way that I want you to think about it is, I'm not sure if any of you have ever been to Disney World, but there's the Disney World Pass and then there's the Fast Pass. Well, people can actually pay money because they wanna go faster. And so for my more premium clients, it's gonna be a little bit more expensive, but not only on top of having a much higher warranty, they're also gonna get a dedicated project manager. And on top of that, they're gonna get priority scheduling. So guess who gets priority in scheduling first? Our premium or standard? Our premium, of course. And that's what they're willing to pay for. But what I realize is there's a whole subset of the market and they can care less when you do the project. They can care less how you get it done. They just want it done. They want it done well, and they want it done on budget. And so now I'm gonna have 2 separate products for people to choose from, which naturally should increase our closing percentage. All right, to fix the sales training, the better lead problem, and the better brand problem, I decided to invest into an office. So to fix the sales training, that office is now gonna act as a centralized hub where I can actually bring my salespeople in, review calls, and actually go over game tape so they can get better. It's also gonna be a chance for us all to get together as a team, so that way I could build up the spirits of my salespeople because they're getting beat up all day. They need some encouragement, they need some training. So that's number 1. Number 2 is a better brand. What brand looks more fancy, looks better? A company with an office, with a showroom where people can come in and interact with us, or a company that works out of an apartment? Well, obviously a company that works out of an office where a person can come in, now we have higher brand, which means that will increase my closing percentage. And then number 3 is having better leads and more leads. Imagine now we're gonna have displays, we're gonna have different finishing options, different colors, different styles of stamps, all on display, kind of like a showroom, which should naturally bring in more leads, but even better leads. Because looking into next year, would I rather have a Facebook lead, which of course, I still like Facebook leads, but in my busy season, would I rather be busy with people who are coming into my showroom looking at concrete, or a Facebook lead? Obviously, I'd rather have someone coming into my showroom, so that for me is worth the investment into an office. Also, to fix the problem of more availability, I realized that if we have a larger sales team, well, now I can hire people and their hours are just gonna be different, right? So for instance, I could have a morning salesperson and an evening salesperson, and maybe their schedules look like this. This person could be from 7 to 4. This person can be from 10 to 7. So now instead of being open from 7 to 4, I'm actually open until 7 o'clock every night, which will give me the ability to sell customers at night, probably including Saturdays. So that is why I'm willing to make the investment into more salespeople to increase that availability. Hey, so I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, hey, Tyler, it's great that you can hire more salespeople because you're a bigger company, etc., and I can't do that. Well, in reality, guys, you guys don't have to do all of the things that I mentioned here before. So in reality, if you just pick a couple and you implement that, at the end of the day, if you go from a 20% close rate to a 25% close rate, that's not a 5% increase in sales, that's a 25% increase in sales. So even just picking and choosing a couple of these and working on it is gonna be well worth it. Doing a little bit is way better than doing none. If I could help in any way, message me on Instagram. Also, don't forget the free training that I have down below that goes into this way more in depth, and I will see you in the next video.